Dear listeners, if you feel lost with English, its grammar or vocabulary, I'm here to help you. The After-Class Report is a collection of recordings that will explain to you the most important aspects of the language. All episodes are content-related. The inspiration comes from you, from our class. With the After-Class Report, you will get answers to all the questions you want to ask. This recording is more like examination preparation, so there will not be any casual talk behind it, but rather a list of expressions that you need to know, you need to revise if you want to feel prepared for a certain type of examination. And what I'm referring to right now is this first certificate in English. I do believe some of them may be used also in this advanced examination in English. But all of you who would say right now, who would answer, okay, so it's not for me because I am not preparing for an examination, please stay with me because, of course, the expressions that I'm going to present to you right now, these expressions are something that you will use on a regular basis. They are just put together, like there is this list because people who are preparing for the B2 level examination, they are asked to know them, and they are asked to know them for a certain reason, and this reason being that these expressions are just useful in everyday English. So this recording is for both for people who are preparing for examination and for people who just want to develop their language skills and who just want to know how to present in English, how to make proper sentences in English. So it is the keyword transformations that I'm going to talk about right now. So I'm going to present the clusters of words, the structures, the expressions that are typically used at the B2 level. And the first one will be here from. If you say that you haven't heard from somebody, mind you, the typical structure is here from somebody, but we usually use it in the present perfect form because you talk about the time that has passed. So I haven't heard from my brother, I haven't heard from my mother, I haven't heard from her for a while. It means that you did not have any information. So somebody hasn't called you, somebody hasn't texted you, somebody hasn't visited you. Hear from somebody. It has nothing to do with hearing them in a sense that they say something to you and you can hear what they say. Two other words used commonly, it is succeed and fail. If you succeed in doing something, it means that you managed to do. So actually, it is not two words, it is three words. So succeed in, fail to do, and manage to do something. If you succeed in something, it means that you are successful, that you managed to do it. But on the other hand, the opposite meaning, if you don't succeed in doing something, that means that you failed to do something or you fail to do something. Accuse. You accuse somebody of. And if you accuse somebody of, the meaning of the word accuse means that you will go to somebody and you will tell them, hey, you have taken the last piece of chocolate. So you accuse somebody of taking the last piece of chocolate. Now I'm going to present to you two questions, and there is a typical change in tenses that you need to understand and you need to know. And the typical change in tenses looks like that you can say how long you have been doing something. So I have been studying English. I have been living in this apartment for some time. I have been working for some time in this company. But then you can change this question, how long have you been studying English, into the past form, and you will just ask about this one activity, so the activity of starting it. So you would say, when did you start learning English, studying English? When did you move into your apartment? When did you start working for this company? So there is this obvious change in tenses. And another example where there is this obvious change in tenses is that you say that you haven't been to the cinema for a long time. Cinema is a typical example because this is where we go sometimes. So I haven't been to the cinema for 3 months, let's say. But if you want to make this sentence and use it in the past, you would say, the last time I went to the cinema was 3 months ago. So you have been, like be and been in one sentence, and then you change it into go and went, because obviously you cannot refer to you and say go in the present perfect. So you cannot say I haven't gone or I have gone If you say I have gone, it means that you are not here, basically. So it doesn't make any sense. Then the word enough and too. You say that I am not old enough, or children are not old enough to stay up late, and this old enough, it is the enough follows after the adjective. But if you say too, you can say the opposite meaning. They are too young to stay up late. Yeah, so it is too young, but not old enough. Aware of. If you are aware of something, it means that you are conscious of something, and here comes the synonym. If you are aware, if you are conscious of something, that means that you know that there is a problem, you know that something is going on, you know that something can happen. Passive. Another example, I'm just checking my list that I have prepared for you. Passive, typically used in written English, typically used in examinations. So that would be modals, passives, and conditionals. Most of you, I believe, you find it relatively easy to change from active into passive. Like, they produce this car in Germany, and this car is produced in Germany. There is a little trouble when you want to talk about another form of passive. That is the expression they say, or it is said. So it means that people say, somebody says, there is this general opinion. So you can say, they say it is a good idea. So you say they say, and then you make just a regular sentence in English, or you say it is said to be a good idea. So if you start with it is said, then the other structure, the thing that follows, is in the infinitive form. So it is said to be a good idea. Of course, there is this difference between since and for. So if you perform some activity for some time, you would say that I have been living in this apartment for 5 months, or I have been living in this apartment since March, for instance. If March means that it happened 5 months ago, that's an example. Get rid of something. I don't believe it is a very popular expression. I mean, popular in a sense that those of you who are not studying the language, maybe they haven't heard about that. Get rid of something means that you want to throw it away. You don't want to have it. So you can get rid of your old clothes. You can get rid of your old furniture. Cut down on. The expression of cut down on is something I usually refer to a doctor, because when we go to a doctor, our family doctor, GP, they would say that we need to cut down on something if they see our blood results, if they look at us, because cut down on it means that you want to diminish the number of things, or you want to diminish the amount of something that you consume. Most preferably, we want to cut down on sweets, we want to cut down on cigarettes, or just get rid of them thoroughly, give them up, or quit the habit, the bad habit. Sometimes you want to cut down on the amount of alcohol that you consume. So cut down on means that you want to just decrease the number of something. Models. I told you that models are very popular here. And if you want to prove that you possess this B2 level of the language, you would need to show that you know how to use models. Models are relatively easy because it is very easy to build a structure, a sentence with a model. You have a model and then you have the infinitive. It just gets that easy. It is that easy. But it gets a little bit more complicated if you want to talk about speculation in the past. So if you want to talk about things that you think might have happened, could have happened, must have happened, or should have happened. So if there is a sentence that somebody didn't call you on your birthday, we can make this comment that they may have forgotten about your birthday. Or the sentence that you use very often when it comes to studying the language, you say when it comes to studying English, you say, I should have studied English when I was a student, or I should have studied English when I was at school. Mind you, the structure, you just get the modal verb as it is. It can be in the present form, it can be in the past form, and then you add the have plus the past participle form. So have plus participle form it is something that is inseparable. It always stays together. Put up with, and I will make this summary here, that the phrasal verbs are a very, very important thing for any of you who is studying the language, preparing for examination, or just studying the language as such. So I introduced these phrasal verbs so far, meaning like get rid of something, and now I'm going to introduce another one, put up with. If you can put up with, or you can't put up with, it means that you cannot tolerate something. And I guess I used a while ago the expression of give up, and that's another example of a phrasal verb, or cut down on. So you have the verb plus the preposition or two prepositions, and then the structure of these two or three words, it changes the meaning of the verb completely. It has a completely different meaning. Another phrasal verb that is very productive is this bring up. And bring up has nothing to do with bringing anything. You can bring your pen to school. You can bring your breakfast to school or to work. You can bring somebody to a party. But bring up means a completely different thing. Bring up means that you have this child and you raise this child. So you tell this child how to behave, what to do, how to function. Suggestion, or this prediction of the future, more rather like the prediction of the future, is that somebody will do something, probably. So here we would say he is likely to. So you can say she will probably be late, and she is likely to be late. This is my suggestion for the future. This is my prediction of the future. Rather. Rather is a problem, especially when you want to make negation. And here, please pay attention to these two sentences, because I'm going to give you two structures, and I'm going to show you how the structure changes with rather. I will start with something simpler. I believe most of you know the expression, I would rather go to the cinema. Yes, because we just learn it by heart. I would rather do it. What happens if you want to make a negation? If you want to make a negation, you would say, I would rather not go to the cinema. As simple as that. There is no don't, there is no doesn't, no won't, or anything like that. You just say, I would rather not go to the cinema. And of course, this go to the cinema can change. You can talk about any other activity, but please have in mind this structure. If you say like, I would rather do it, I would rather not do it. But the structure changes if you change the subject. So if you want to talk about another person, and I would rather he didn't come so late, or I would rather he didn't behave like that. So then you put another person into the sentence. So mind you go for the past, and if you want to make the negation, you say didn't, just as I have said before. In charge of. The expression in charge of. If somebody is in charge of, and this expression is useful both for examinations but also for business English. If somebody is in charge of something, it says that they are at the helm. At the helm is connected more with sailing. So all the sailors in here, they would understand what I'm saying. And if you are in charge of, if you are at the helm, it means that you are the leader. You are the most important person. The sentence to remember here with in charge of is in charge of the department, in charge of the company, at the helm of the company. Avoid. Avoid introduces your knowledge on gerund and infinitive, on verb patterns, on word patterns. If you avoid doing something, you just don't want to do it. So you can avoid meeting your boss, for instance, because this boss is in a bad mood today. And another very productive expression for the transformation part is prevent. You prevent somebody from doing something. So like this, a thick fog prevented the plane from taking off. Very typical example connected with planes. So because of this great fog, the plane couldn't take off. So thick fog prevented the plane from taking off. To be on the point of doing something, it means that you are just about to do it. So what does it mean? Like on the point and about to do. To be on the point of means that you just want to do it. Like you are on the point of calling somebody, but very often something else just disturbs you. So you can be, or he was on the point of calling me or calling his boss when somebody entered his room and he couldn't do it. The advice I'm thinking now about this, I would rather it's more like your preference, but there is a expression close in meaning to it, like you had better. This is the advice, and oftentimes, mind you, you don't know that this is you had better. You use another expression. So please remember, it is you had better. I'm not going to repeat the mistake in here. But if you want to give a piece of advice to somebody, you say, you had better go to a doctor. And this is, again, a very typical expression. And now I'm going to introduce a sentence example that is typical of all the students of Matura exam or preparation for all the students preparing for other linguistic exams, because very often you are asked why you study English, why you want to know this language. And very often you say, I study English, I'm studying English, both forms are acceptable, in order to. So I'm studying English in order to have a good job, of course, everybody. Mind, it is usually associated with the brain. So when I present the word mind to people, to students, they say that we are going to talk about our opinions or something connected with our preferences, and it's actually true, because you use it to talk about something you don't enjoy particularly, but you can do it. So you say, I don't mind cooking. I don't mind cooking means it is not my thing. I'm not into it very much, but I don't mind it. I can easily do it. And the last expression, of course, mind you, it is last but not least. I mean, like the list it can be enormously long, and we can keep on going like that for another hour. But of course, I don't want to bore you. I just want to get you interested in these phrases, and hopefully with this recording, you will remember them, and then you will also go and look for them for yourself. So the last one that I would like to present to you is belong to. This is how you talk about your possession. This is how you talk about things that are yours. So you say, this car belongs to me, this phone belongs to me. Or on the other hand, you can say that this car doesn't belong to me because it belongs to somebody else. As I said, this is just the beginning. This is just a glimpse of transformations and structures, but this is how it works. My advice is that you should study all the typical phrases or the typical expressions, because there is this bag, one drawer of expressions that are very useful. And if you study them, you will feel more comfortable, because they are the expressions that you can meet with as you want to take examinations, as I said, as you are getting ready for a job interview, and even as you are traveling, I believe, because like the expression I have just used, like belong to, you can say, I don't know, to somebody working in the airport. So you can tell them, hey, this bag doesn't belong to me. It is not mine. So English is definitely not only for examinations. All these expressions, they can be easily used in your everyday life. And this is what I'm encouraging you to do, to use them in your everyday life. If you enjoy what you have listened to, please like the episode. You are invited to listen to my other podcast called World of English, in which I'm telling different stories so that you can relax and learn the language.